All right, so good morning, everybody. We're going to start just in any easy seated pose, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're going to stick with the wrists for a little bit longer. So have a couple of rubber bands. I know I already said this, but I'm saying it for the recording. Have a couple of rubber bands or a hair tie or something nearby. So, because we're going to play with that and then have a block where you can get to it. And as we work with the wrists, the fingers, and the wrists, and the forearms, just be mindful, don't overdo, especially if you're working with injury or carpal tunnel issues or arthritis issues, because this is kind of slow work, right? This is not something that we do all in one shot and then we're done with it. But hopefully today I'll give you some more hints and tricks to working with the strength of our fingers and our wrists and our forearms, because that informs so much of what we do. If you think about downward facing dog, plank pose, anything where we're weight bearing on the hands. All right, so with that, go ahead and move the flesh out from your sit bones. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe you're sitting on a blanket, maybe not. Roll your shoulders and take them back and down and feel how that broadens the collarbones and the whole chest widens to the side body. And then let the elbows be heavy. So let them just drop down to the sides of your body. Your hands are comfortable. Maybe your thumb and index fingers touch, maybe not. The spine nice and long. And then tone the belly just enough to support this upright pose. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. Start to tap into your breath. Noticing and breathing, maybe even smiling so that your body knows it is happy to be in yoga class today. And notice as you exhale, the shoulders softly drop down away from the ears without force. The body gets heavier toward the floor. And it is with that grounding that we lift up, right? We lift up and out from the grounding of our bodies. Feel the back of the neck nice and long. And then very simply, silently count up to the number 4. And pause at the top of that breath and then slowly exhale to the count of 4. Inhaling your count of 4, exhaling your count of 4, just bringing us all back into the center of our mats, our bodies, our space, our hearts. Soften your jaw. One more round here of that counted breath. And then let the eyes open up and roll your shoulders. And just feel them just starting to wake up, Notice as the shoulders go up, how does that feel as you crunch up into your neck? Does it feel good? Does it feel tight? And then just take the left shoulder. I'm going to try to mirror here. So just your left shoulder, just circling it. And then take the hand to the shoulder and circle that whole elbow as if you were going to draw a big circle. There you go. One more big circle here. And then hold that elbow out so that it's level with your shoulder, and then take the arm out. Good. An internal rotation of that shoulder, that whole arm, external rotation, just one arm. And notice if you're getting some tension in the head or the neck or the shoulder by holding the arm up. If you are, try lowering the arm and see if that helps a little bit. Good. And just curl in and out, right? Just stretching. And then from an open hand, I want you to do a closed fist. And notice the difference, something that simple, the tension that it creates in the arm. Good, couple more circles here. And then hold the palm face up. We do this so many times. Curl your fingers, curl the wrist, but keep the arm straight. Hold it right here. And breathe. Soften the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades down, and then slow, slow, slow Popeye arm. See if you can bring your knuckles all the way to your shoulders. Squeeze it in. Maybe take the elbow up toward the ceiling. And lower the elbow down, all the way down. And release that hand, shake it out. Good, and then just roll your right shoulder. Easy morning, nothing much going on so far today. We find our breath. Good, one more circle here, and then hand to shoulder. Let's do big elbows. If you are doing a lot of work on the computer, and I know most of you are, as one in particular, right? These simple shoulder stretches and arm stretches can make such a big difference. Good, one more big, big, big circle. Good, and then take that elbow out to your side, straight, and the arm palm is face up, and internal rotation, external rotation. Again, notice, right, if you're already feeling a ton of tension in the shoulders or the neck, maybe lower it down a little bit, right? Again, body weight exercises, it's amazing. Good, one more big internal rotation, external rotation, and then crunch up your fists and do a couple more. Maybe more than a couple, maybe 4 or 5 more. And find your full rotation, so don't stop part way. Really roll in, really roll out. Good, and then open up the palms, curl your fingers, curl your wrists, and just hold. And feel the stretch along the whole back side of your wrist. Again, if you think about most of the weight-bearing arm weight-bearing poses that we do, it's the opposite, right? You're here, not here. So here we're stretching out all those tendons on that arm, and then curl it in, really curl it in. Keep that wrist as curled as you can for you. Touch that shoulder, maybe raise the elbow up toward the ceiling, and then drop that elbow down to the waist and let it go and shake it out. Good. And then grab one of your blocks. So we're gonna play with this block as if it were a weight. So I want you to hold on to the skinny edge, the long skinny edge, and maybe hold kind of toward the middle of your block. And then take that arm out to the side and turn it palm face up. Once again, roll your shoulder, right? Feel all that. And I want you to just curl at the wrist so that you can touch that block down toward, and actually, I'm sorry, grab the end of it. I meant to do the end of it. What I do in practice and then what I remember, right? So you're here, and again, you can hold the arm a little bit lower. Higher is harder. And just curl it in. Keep the arm straight so that you're not bending the elbow. You're not making a bicep curl. You're trying to just curl the wrist, right? So I hope that makes sense for you. And then open it up and curl it in. So just the wrist is moving. You can curl it down. Curl it in, see if you can get that block to touch your inner elbow. And 3, you've probably done way more than that by now. 4, and 5, and release, and turn it down and just pause for a second. Good, and then hold on to the block. This time your palm is face down, your arm is relatively straight, ideally straight, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna see if you can touch that block to that inside arm by just moving the wrist, and then open and curl in. Woo, open, right? So the fact that we have to hold on to the block engages muscles, tendons, so it makes it harder than if we were just doing this with our hand, right? So one more here, just squeeze it in, see if you can hold it in for a second, and let it go, and then shake it out. Good, switch to the other side, you're holding the short edge of your block, palm is face up, arm is straight. Good, and then the same thing here, curl it in, see if you can touch. Now, for me, that wrist is a little touchier, so curling it all the way in, I feel a little bit more. Don't stress or strain. If you can only go part way, go part way. If you're working with an injury or something, just see where, maybe it's just straight up for you, maybe it's more diagonal, right? Good, and breathe, everybody. So I don't know if you just noticed, but I just started to bend my elbow because there's your compensation, right? Arm straight is much harder because it makes it stay in the wrist. All right, one more here. Totally lost count. Turn the palm down. See if we can just go straight to it. Good, curl in. Woo. Curl in. Yep, curl it in. Right, have to work harder by holding onto that block, even though we're not holding on super tight. There you go, good. One more right here, squeeze it in, see if you can hold, and let it go. Woo, shake them out, everybody. Good, and then grab your block and take it between both palms at the skinny side. So you've got a hand on either side. And then bring the block up toward the ceiling and then bring it down to your heart as if you were going to do prayer hands, right? And those hands together. And then start to lower down, and you're going to feel a stretch. Your palms are going to want to start to pull away from the block. They might pull away a little bit. That's okay. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze down. Good. If your legs are getting cranky, by the way, switch them out, right? Good, bring them up. Now, if I go too far, if I keep going, they're just gonna spread away from each other. So I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat close. Good, one more up, and then press down and just hold. Shoulders are down, right? Shoulder blades are down the back. You should feel some sensation in the wrist at the very base of the palm of the hands. And let go, shake it out. We have done this with the block with the legs, so now we're doing it with the arms. So this time you're going to take it at second width. You're going to put both hands on either side. I let my pinky and thumbs wrap around, but don't squeeze the block. Just let them rest there, the other 3 fingers on either side. Same thing, bring them up. Press into the block as you lower. Inhale up. Exhale, press down. Good, take it up. Exhale, squeeze down, a little bit of upper body work, right? Up, squeeze down. We got one more, inhale up, and exhale, hold right here. Woo, draw the shoulder blades down, press the palms into the block without scrunching through the fingers. The fingers are just holding that block in place. Hold, and release, shake it out. Good. This is what we yoga teachers do in the pandemic, right? We take a block and we go, what can I do with this thing? All right, last one, go wide. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, push down. Good, inhale, reach up. Exhale, press. Good, up. Exhale, press. And up. Exhale and press. Good, last one, reach up. Exhale, press it, press it, press it. Keep the palms touching as much as you can. Notice if you want to peel away one side or the other. right? As you draw down and stretch those babies, and then turn the block upside down. Shoulders are gonna roll forward, right? The palms are down, and then push it out. Inhale it up. Good, 5 of these. Press down, turn down, push out. That's 2. And down, turn it down, and go. Good, 2 left. Press down, turn the block down, and go. Last one. Press, turn, and push it out. Good, grab that block with your left hand, only take it out to the side, plant that block down, and just reach over. Inhale, both block up, arms up, other side, wrist press down. Good, and up, and down. As I've said so many times, yoga is never about one area of the body, right? Even though we're playing with wrists, we've been working upper body most of this beginning part of class. Good, 1 more on both sides, 1 more after this so that we're even. Take it up. This time I want you to hold, breathe. Yep, watch that right shoulder, right? I am mirroring, so in case you're confused. So this shoulder, make sure it's staying nice and open. And then listen up, you've got your hand on this block. I just want you to take your fingers and push the block away. So it's on edge, that block is on edge. Breathe. That's it, find your pose, tone your belly. You're not holding onto this block for dear life, right? You're just stretching that wrist, you're stretching the arm away. And then let go of that tilt, grab your block, grab it, switch sides, take that down, reach over and stretch. Just breathe, everybody. And then same thing here, just tilt that block away so you've got a stretch of that arm, stretch of that wrist, tone of the belly, little bit of core here. You got it, breathe. And take it up. We're almost done. Grab that block between your hands, take it behind your back. Hold, press the block away. So reach that block back behind you, lift your chest, bring it back into your body and switch. Go up. Good, we're staying in the same direction. Big wide arms, take it behind, pause to stretch the shoulders. And then bring the block back into your body to reach up. Good, we got 1 more this direction. Maybe you're feeling your shoulders at this point. Lift your chest and release, hold up, pause, go the other way. We're just doing 3, but we're doing them slow. Push back, open that chest, soften the head, the neck. Inhale it up. Exhale, reach behind you and then push the block away from you. Good, and up. Last one. Take it forward, yeah, or take it behind. Push it back. Woo, that feels so good. And up. Good, and then release. Good, set that block aside. Straighten out those poor legs if they've been crossed that whole time. I have not forgotten about our little rubber band, so just in case you thought I did. Flex your feet, find a good solid Dandasana. Let's fire up those legs, hands come to your side body. And again, Dandasana is interesting, right? It's a leg focused pose for most of us, nice tall torso. But what happens when we press into the hands just a little bit more? How does that feel? What if you could lift yourself off the floor? Don't really. But push down and feel the work, and then let the hands relax, soften the elbows. And then push into the hands again, and soften. Don't forget about the legs, they're fired up this whole time. Good, push into your hands, and let go. And then go to soft fists. So soft fists, you're on those knuckles, be gentle here. If that hurts, don't do it. And I just want you to push into the knuckles. And let go. It's really gentle. Push in, so wrist strength and down. Maybe some of you can actually push and lift the hips gently. And down. Good, 1 more here. Lift. And let go. And shake it out. Good, circle it out. Interlace those hands, do some wrist circles. Do some movement through the shoulders, through the wrist. You can do it right in front of you. You can go slow, you can go fast. Shake those out, fire up your legs. Good, interlace again, sorry about that. I want you to switch thumbs, so whichever thumb's on top, do it the other way. And circle again. And it's a good thing I don't have mics on my wrist, because you would hear all this pop, 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 pop. Like, what's going on in there? Good, breathe. And then hold that. And then imagine that you're using like an axe to chop wood. Fire up your legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right? Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Good, and up. Really strong arms down. Good, one more. Reach up and down. Whew, and shake those babies out. Good job, everybody. And then either cross the legs again if you can, or find a way for your legs so that you can play with a rubber band first in front of you on the floor, and then we're going to bring it up in the air. So I suggested you get a couple of them, one that's thinner, so it's easier, one thicker, so it's harder. If you have a long rubber band, you're probably going to have to double it up, so or tie a knot in it. So take your one rubber band, and maybe you take it around your left fingers, and it's closer to your most outer knuckle, but maybe in between those knuckles. And then take your hand to the floor. Imagine that you were going to like take a pinch of salt. And so the fingers are pretty close together, and then spread those fingers out, and then just let it go. So you're spreading out and squeezing in. Spread the fingers out. Almost like when I do this, I always think of a little happy spider, right? Where the legs are all in and then the legs are out. Make sure your thumb is in that equation. Make sure your thumb is moving too. Good, just one more here. Squeeze it out and squeeze it in, and then release it and go to the other hand. So what I found in playing with these is that one hand is more coordinated than the other, and on the floor is easier than out in the air. So that's why we're doing the floor one first. So you're pinching that grain of salt, and then you're letting it go. So pinch in and spread out. Pinch in, you got it, and spread out. And 4, good, and last one, 5, and let go. Good. Put that rubber band around your other hand again, and if it's really hard, go to your thinner one. If it's still really hard, just do 2 or 3 for now. And then just relax your arm anywhere on your body, whether, you know, here or on your elbow, and then just spread those babies out and release. It's like a claw, right? And back in, and squeeze them out, and in, and 4, whoo, and 5, wow, and release, surprisingly harder, and then go to your other hand. So this was actually taught to me by a yoga student who's a tennis player, who, when I complained about some tennis elbow, he told me to do these exercises. And at the time, they really helped, but I still don't play tennis. Good, spread them out. And out. It's what you keep and what you let go of, right? And release it. Woo, good. And then take that same rubber band, if it's big enough, around your 4 fingers, 8 fingers, both hands, right? In the middle, your thumbs are free, and just spread them out. And back in. And spread out. You're pushing the fingers against the rubber band, and then release. 3, and in. 4, good, in, and 5, spread. And relax. Shake them out. That's it for the rubber band. Set those aside. Shake them out. And then last one here. And this one was actually taught to me by Betty a long time ago. So this first knuckle, I want you to see if you can bend just the first knuckle and try to touch the very top of your palm. Now, you may be able to do all 4 fingers. Maybe you can add your thumb into there to scrunch, but it's that very first knuckle. Like, I want to go down, but my pinky just doesn't really think that's a good idea. So don't overstrain. Just stretch in and then stretch them out. Good, just one more here. Just curling the fingers into the very top of the palm. Maybe bring that thumb in there as well. Good. And stretch them out. Shake that out. Go to the other hand, just the knuckles, just the top knuckles. This side's a little easier, but still pinky finger doesn't love it. Squeeze and stretch. Last one, squeeze them down. And stretch them. Good. And then shake them all out. Good. All right, now let's come to hands and knees. And maybe notice, right, now that we've stopped, how does that feel? Do they feel cranky? Do they feel good? If they feel cranky, it's okay. You know, that's not unusual. So, but hopefully over time, right, as we work the muscles and the tendons, they get better. So I want you to come to table pose. Make sure your knees are under your hips. You've got plenty of space for those arms. If your wrists hurt, you are backed off a little bit so you have a much bigger angle on the wrist. But then I want you to, you know how when we're standing we lift our toes? I want you to lift the fingers off the floor without lifting that rack of knuckles, without lifting the ball mound of the hand. Just lift the fingers off the floor. Even your thumbs if you can, and set them down. Good, lift. Try not to lean off of that rack of knuckles. My fingers are barely lifting off the floor and down. Good, one more here. Just lift the fingers. I don't know why my feet are lifting too. And let go. Good. And then imagine that somebody has your index fingers and it's pulling that index finger as far forward on your mat as you can. So actually lift your index finger, ground through that ball mound of that knuckle, and then pull the finger forward and let it come down. And then do that with every other finger. Just spread them as long as possible. Make them equal distance spread, including your thumb. A lot of times we'll take the thumb out too wide. And then push into the pads of your fingers, push into the rack of knuckles, and feel your hands. Where are you carrying the weight? Is it on the outside? If it is, move it toward the middle. If it's more on the thumb, move it more toward the middle. In other words, put the weight of your body in the middle of your hands. You can even curl the fingers in, like crawl them in a little bit, press into the rack of knuckles, and then lean over your wrists. If this hurts, don't do it. Keep those fingers where they are, press back and press forward. That's it. Press back, your level. Press forward, your level. Good. Press back and forward. One more right here. Press back. Press forward. And then find that it's a relative happy spot. Either it's directly over wrist or it's back a little. And I want you to circle around the wrists. Hang in there. Circle, circle, circle. So you're just moving around the circumference of the wrist. Pinky, back, thumb, forward, however it is, switch directions. I know this is hard work and it's not something we do normally in yoga class. Good, one more. Good, and then press the hips back, turn your palms up, rest your elbows and pause. Good. And release and shake them out, everybody. Good. All right, so from there, press into your hands, make all the fingers really long, equal distance, and come to down dog. And once again, I want you to notice where the weight of your hands is. Where is the weight? Is it mostly in that pinky corner, or is it mostly in the heel of your hands? Come up to your tippy toes and move the weight into the rack of knuckles. And then press back again and see if you can keep it there. Good, once more, tippy toes. And press back. And then lower your knees to the floor. Step forward, right leg. Whew, come into a nice easy lunge. Let's get off of these hands for a little bit. Find your breath. Inhale, take the arms up. Bend your right elbow, bend your right elbow, front knee, front elbow. Reach it back behind you. Take your other hand, your left arm, and reach it back. And maybe you touch your fingers, maybe you don't. If you don't worry about it. Wherever you are right here. Shoulders are open, chest is open. Finding that lunge. Everybody breathe. That's it. If you are able to hold fingers, excuse me, I want you to let go of that and just let the fingers rest on your back body. And then reach the arms up. Exhale those hands down. Maybe you step back, downward facing dog. Maybe not. Maybe you just switch legs. Check where the weight of your hands is. Come down to your knees and step forward left leg. Once you're there, inhale, reach the arms up. And feel that. Right? And the whole time, by the way, the whole time we're doing this, right, you should be paying attention to all the other stuff that's going on, not overly, not obsessively, but you want to make sure your right glute is engaged, that you're not overreaching. And then take your left hand behind you, pat yourself on the back. Take your right hand behind, see if you can find your fingers. Maybe you can, maybe not. Don't force it. Breathe. Smile. Notice, right? No big deal. And if you are holding fingers, let those go. Notice the difference in the tension. That's it. And release those arms both up, both of them down. Good. Lift your right knee, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Lower both knees to the floor. And then very simply, I just want you to lift one heel of the hand and then the other, just lift. Fingers stay down. Breathe, you're lifting. You've got a song in your head, right? I don't know what that song is, but breathe, just lift. And last one. Good, plant the hands, make the fingers super long, super, super long. Step one leg back, step the other leg back, find plank. Knees down may be an option, right? Maybe that's where we want to be today. Knees up, more weight. Feel that in your hands. Where are you diving? Where is it? And then just press your heels back. So it's not really down dog. It's like a weird plank, a weird baby child of down dog and plank pose. Push your wrists away from you. Push your fingers away from you. And then slide back over them. Good. And reach back. It's not really, maybe it's a down dog for you, but it'd be a long one for me. Breathe, push the wrists away, push the fingers away. And come forward. Lower your knees to the floor. Step forward, right leg. And breathe. Inhale, take it up. From here, curl your fingers, curl your wrists, and stretch them out. Good. Curl your fingers in your wrists and stretch them out. And breathe. Pat yourself on the back with your right arm. Take your left arm behind. Again, cow face arms. Breathe, opening up this space. Maybe come in a little bit deeper. Maybe find that nice, strong, solid lunge. Tone the belly. That's it. Release those hands. Take them up. Exhale, hands are to the floor. Lift your left knee. Either you're just switching legs or you're gonna step back, down dog. From down dog to plank this time, right? Weighting those hands more and more and more. Breathe. Lower your knees to the floor. Step forward, left leg. When you're ready, up with the arms. Bend the top arm or the left arm. Bring the right one behind. Feel that stretch. And breathe. That's it. Where's your pose? How's it feel, everybody? Notice, notice. Unscrunch your front toes, which I just did. Breathe. Release those arms, take them up. Exhale, take them back down to the floor. Lift your right knee. Step back to down dog. Take your hands wider on your mat and lower your knees to the floor. And shake them out. So I want you to try something just for a little bit. I want you to take your hands to the edge of your mat so that the whole palm is on your mat, but your thumb, index, and middle finger are on your mat, and the ring and pinky are off your mat. And then press toward that thumb, that index finger. Hold the hands there and go to down dog. And just feel that as a change of the way we usually do things and as a way to press toward the center of your hand. So feel your index finger, feel your middle finger, press through that big, those knuckles right there. Notice that. And then inhale, tippy toes, lower down to your knees. Go one more, thumb and index finger only on the mat. The other three fingers off your mat and go to down dog again. And breathe and see how that feels. Breathe. Good. Lower down to your knees. We got one more here. This one's a little weird. So if you're on a double mat, just fold one edge of your mat under. Let's see if I can do that here. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Just fold the corners and place just your palm and your thumbs on the mat, and the rest of your fingers are either off mat completely or on your bottom mat. Good. So you're on your mat, not off your mat, unless you're. So if it were here, you would be like that. Sorry, this is hard to do when it's Zoom. And then down dog one more time. So the fingers are completely free. And just the palms and your thumbs are on your mat. And see how that feels. Your hands are your normal width apart. So what I'm trying to do here is have you notice, good, and lower down. Have you noticed where you carry the weight in your hands when we do weight bearing in yoga, right? Because it's different for everybody. Good. All right. Find a spot that feels good. Spread the fingers, lengthen them, track them down, right? Like feel them dig into your yoga mat. Come to downward facing dog. And walk one hand back. Feel the weight on that hand. Even if you don't lift, if you can, whichever hand you brought back, see if you can lift the other hand a little bit, even if you do a little spider cage here, right? And then walk the other hand back and do the same thing. See if you can put some weight there. Walk the other hand back, more weight, so more is in the legs. Other one back, feel that. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And then both hands right back to your feet. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on up. Good, grab one of your blocks. I know when we do like very specific focus here, that it might take a little more patience on your end to just go, okay, what am I feeling, what am I feeling, what am I feeling, right? So that you can really tap in. So grab your block and place it between your thighs, and then come to the edge of your mat. the back edge of your mat. From that back edge, I want you to inhale, reach up. And just here, right, this is just a simple mountain pose. Arms are up in the air, shoulders are down. I want you to feel your fingers. An instructor once said to the class, and I was doing it, don't make your fingers scream out. Like, don't like overtax them. Just let them be straight. Let them be long, but not hard, if that makes sense to you. And then exhale, forward fold. Just spider cage those hands. Just come up on the fingertips and rock side to side. Now, some of you might have to bend your knees more than others. So if your fingers don't easily reach, bend the knees, no big deal. And then walk one hand forward. Feel the weight on that hand. Walk the other one forward. Now we're getting more weight. Walk the other one forward. And the other. You're getting it. Walking forward. We're going all the way to plank. So find that spot and then level the hands and then come to your plank pose. Lower your knees. Maybe a little baby chaturanga. Maybe a little cobra. A little low one or high one. Flip your toes under to plank. Downward dog, right? The hands don't need to move. And then walk them back. Slow, methodical, purposeful, all the way back. Breathe, roll your shoulders, bend your knees, tone your belly. Inhale, reach all the way up. Good, and exhale, let those hands go. Shake them out. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Walk those hands forward. Don't have to go quite as slow. All the way up to plank. Find your pose. Breathe. Shoulders nice and broad. Maybe lower the knees. Maybe a little chaturanga. Maybe a little back bend. Right? All optional. And then plank. To the down dog. To that walk back. All the way back. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Notice that this, right, hands to heart maybe feels a little bit better. Maybe not, but maybe it does. And then release those hands. Good, curl out your wrists. Maybe squeeze the wrists right at that base of the palms and help those bones come back together. All right, we have one more here. One more. We're going to add on, and the add-on is optional. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Open up your shoulders, tone your belly, and then do that same thing. Walk it back, walk it out. Somebody once called this an elephant walk, and I love that. It feels like an elephant walk, right? If you think of those solid, strong legs of an elephant, good, lower the knees. Maybe chaturanga, maybe a cobra, maybe not, maybe you stay super low. Exhale to plank, listen up. Some of you are going to come back down to your knees and you're going to tap opposite shoulder, right here, right? So we're putting serious weight on those hands. Some of you are going to be able to go to regular plank and tap. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And down dog, hold. Same thing, I want you to tap thighs. 1, 2, opposite thigh. 3, 4, 5, one more. 6, hold. Walk those hands back. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Right, feel that. I don't know whether stand in front of the Buddha or to the side of the Buddha. Okay, good. Take your left arm up. Bend your arm. Pat yourself on the back. Take the left arm out. or sorry, right arm out, internally rotate, reach it behind, see if you can find your fingers. Right, so here we are again. If you don't find your fingers, don't worry. Don't worry, squeeze your block. Maybe come up, off your heels and breathe. Notice. Calm down. Just breathe, everybody. And lower down, hold, good, bend your knees. So still got that block there. Bend your knees, maybe you dip elbow to knee, maybe not. And then lift up. Bend down, dip, watch your back. Inhale, lift. Last one, squeeze and lift. Release those hands. Inhale, chair pose. Find your breath. Chairs feels pretty easy after all that wrist stuff. I don't know. Breathe. Sit back in your pose. You all know this. The block should help. Inhale, straight arms or straight legs and let go. Roll it out. Good. Let's do the other side. Take the right arm up. Bend your elbow. That elbow's up nice and high. If it works for your shoulder, other arm out, internal rotation, take it back. Cow face arms. Oh, this is always the tighter side for me. I don't strain or stress it. I just see where I can go with that. Find your breath, squeeze your block, lift your heels. Whoop. Inner ankles toward each other. Big deep breath. Lower your heels. Same thing. Bend the knees, see if you can touch and lift. And touch. And lift. Last one. Down. And lift. And release those arms. Find chair pose. Woo. Breathe. How's the feet? Can you lift the toes? Right? Can you lower the toes and scrunch the feet? Lift the arches. Release your toes. Spread them out long, just like we did the fingers. Don't overstress your hands. Take your hands to your hips. Lean forward. Still the knees are bent. Take the arms back. And turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Interlace your hands. Press them back. Big deep breath. Lift your chest and stand all the way up. Nice job, everybody. Shake it out. Release your block. Bring them back to the front of your mat. And just pause at the front of your mat right here. Right here. Shake out your hands. Maybe circle or spread the fingers. Yep. Good. Inhale, take it all the way up. Exhale all the way down. I want you to step back with your right leg. Keep your front knee bent. Grab both of your blocks and take your hands to your blocks. Now you can go low, medium, or high with your blocks as long as you feel stable with them. It's fine with me which one. I like kind of the medium height for this one. And then before you go much further, just check your legs and see, one, that your legs are hips width apart, and two, that to the best of your ability, your back foot is straight forward and back and not sideways, right? Not turned in. If it's turned in some, you have to do that for your leg or your foot. Don't worry about it. And then straighten your front leg. Straighten to your ability, right? Keep rolling your left hip back. Keep the front knee soft. You can always go a little bit shorter here. Find your breath. Roll your shoulders away from you. From here, I want you to walk your blocks forward so that your arms are more stretched out than normal. In fact, let's take them up at the highest level. I think that's going to be easier. Take them up at the highest level. Your arms aren't like way stretched out, but they're getting there. Your pose is solid. Your legs are fired up. And then tilt your blocks away from you so that you went super long in your torso. Don't overdo it if you feel unsteady. Bring them back, just breathe. Stretching out the wrists, stretching out the arms, not to mention the legs. If your legs are screaming, bend the front leg a little bit more. And take that tilt out. Walk the blocks back so that they're near your ankle. Bend your front knee and step forward. Oh, just breathe. Nice forward fold. And when you're ready, let's just switch sides. So we're bringing our left foot back, our right foot is forward. We're coming into this longer pyramid pose. Pyramid pose itself would be a shorter pose. And then just notice again, maybe your front knee is bent, your hands are to your blocks. Your right hip rolls back, your back foot mostly straight forward and back. You're either in that kind of more lunge position or just slightly angled. And just feel that. What happens when you take your hands like right under your shoulders? Notice that, right? Belly is toned. Maybe you walk them forward some, not a ton, but some. Breathe, feel that. Maybe when you're ready, you're going to tilt this closest part of your blocks away from you to really stretch. Your fingers are still on the block, so you're still stretching through the whole front of the wrists. But now the arms, the shoulders, the back, press strongly into your legs, maybe even lift your front toes. That's it, you got this. Woo. Breathe. And then release the tilt. Walk your blocks back. Oh, bend your front knee and step forward. Good, soften both knees and come all the way up to mountain pose. Good, watch your balance here. We were head down for quite a bit, so give yourself a moment to find that equilibrium. Shake out your wrist. Right, just kind of roll those fingers. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the blocks. This time, step back with your left leg, shorter step, more pyramid-ish, but I want you to go a little bit wider than your normal hips width. Your back foot is still pointing mostly forward, but this time the heel is more dropped. Your stance is not as long as where it was before, what we were just doing. It's a little bit shorter. Your right hip rolls back. Find that. Your hands are to your blocks. I want you to come to spider hands on your blocks. And I want you to push your fingers into your blocks as you lift your chest away from the blocks. And then bend the elbows. And push your fingers into your blocks. And down. Good, one more. Push, reach, feel that. And then just grab your right hand block. So whichever foot's in front, bend, grab that block. I want you to push up and bring that block to the ceiling. Bend your elbow, reach behind with your other hand, and just find either end of your block. You don't have to hold anything, just have one hand on either end of your block. And lift your chest, fire up your legs, squeeze your glutes. Big deep breath. That's it. And then hold on to that block with your right hand. Take it back up. Good. You're going to lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. Woo. And lower it down. Release your other hand. And then carefully, because these blocks are up high, just want you to switch sides. So step forward, left leg, step back, right leg. Your back foot is slightly angled. Your front leg is lined up beautifully. Your hands are on your blocks. Go to spider hands, spider fingers. I hope you like spiders.
If not, think of something else that's really, my mom loves spiders, and so I have a fond affection for them as long as they're not in the house, but but so it's a happy spider. It's like Charlotte's Web spider. Good, so feel that and then push your fingertips into the blocks to lift your chest and bend your elbows down. Good, push in, push up, push in, push up, and back down. Good, last one, push into your blocks. Open up your shoulders and feel that, and then really fire up the legs. Grab just your left hand block and reach it forward as you stand up, right? Takes a lot of core there. Reach that block behind your back. Take your right hand behind and just see if you can find some end of that block. As you squeeze your legs, as you lift your chest and breathe. Let's just notice. And when you're ready, keep that right hand behind as you lift the right arm or left arm back up. Reach it forward, reach, reach, reach. And take it down to the floor. Release your other hand. Nice job, everybody. Step both blocks out of the way. Just push them out of the way. Plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. And then lower your knees to the floor. Take your knees wide. Walk your hands as far forward as they'll go, and then press back. Your forehead can come to the floor. Your legs are just comfortable wherever they are. It's like a wide leg puppy stretch. And press the hands into your mat as if you could push them away from you. That's it. And from here, come right down to your bellies. And breathe. Maybe a little Sphinx pose here, little back bend. That's it. So in yoga, so much we work legs, right? We work shoulders, we work core. We don't work with the feet all that much. We don't work with the hands much at all. So I hope that just, maybe help give you a little understanding of what the heck, right? Maybe bend your knees, right? And as you bend your knees, press your pubic bone into the mat. Because what's the tendency is the butt wants to come up. So press down, lengthen your tailbone, maybe point your toes up toward the ceiling. Turn your palms face up instead of face down. In your Sphinx pose, if your lower back is chatty, you walk the elbows forward and just press the backs of the hands into the mat. Yep, maybe the fingers are spread, it maybe won't all touch, but just press. And then soft curl of your fingers and curl of your wrists. And release down, press down into the mat purposefully. And then curl soft and curl up. Good, 2 more here. Press down, press those hands toward the mat as much as you can. Curl and curl. Good, last one. Press down. And up. And release your legs and take your torso all the way down to the floor. Shake it out, everybody. So I want you to come onto your backs and have a strap near you, or sorry, have a block near you so that you can use it. And come onto your backs with your feet on the floor. And just pause for a second here. And then if you were with me last class, you might remember that we put our hands underneath our glutes, right? So not down low where it's a back support, but more underneath the glutes on both sides. And then just your palms are face down. And you're just putting some weight on those hands. And maybe the hands move up a little bit, so it's your fingers under your glutes and your hands or the base of your hands, or really more under your sacrum or your hip line, right, your pelvic bones, and just feel that. If this hurts, take the hands out. So that's a given. But I want you to just put a little weight on the hands as a sort of self-massage. Bring your left knee to your chest and foot to the floor. And then bring your right knee to your chest. So we're really massaging our hands. As we bring our knees up, we're adding more weight. My hope is that this will feel good. Doesn't have to feel great, but it shouldn't hurt at all, right? We're just bringing some blood flow and some pressure as if someone were giving us a nice little massage on the hands, which always feels so great. Couple more, both sides. There you go. And then if you can, if you're willing, both knees up. This is gonna put a lot more pressure on the hands. Maybe you rock a little side to side. If this hurts, bring the feet back down and go back to singles. And just pause. How does that feel? Maybe both knees head toward chest and both knees move away. So you're getting into the fingers and then you're getting into the palms and back down. And up. Good, last one, back down and up. And then hand or feet to the floor. Lift your hips enough to take those hands out. Good, press into your feet, press into your elbows and upper arms and come to bridge pose. Don't have to go super high here. I want you to take the palms of your hands and press them into the floor down along your hips or toward your feet. So I'm not coming into my fullest expression here of bridge. I just want to get my torso lifted off the floor. I want to feel my hands on the floor. Good, breathe. And then take the hips down. As you inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms, and take the arms overhead so that your palms are face up. Exhale, everything down, palms face down. Inhale, palms up, hips up. Exhale down. Good, and again, lift up. And down. Last one, lift up, hold here, and just notice, right? So now we're pressing into the backs of the shoulders. Imagine that you could bend your elbows into a cactus type pose. Don't actually move your arms to cactus, but imagine pulling the shoulders down as if you could broaden even wider through the shoulders and through the back body. Some of you are going to stay here, pressing your hands into the floor. Palms are face up. Some of you are going to walk those heels in a little bit and come up a little bit higher for a fuller bridge pose. The feet are pressing into the floor. Maybe lift your toes off the floor. Maybe lift your heels off the floor. Finding your breath. And then lower the heels and the toes if they're still up. Lower your whole upper body, but spread it out. Don't move the arms yet. Really lengthen through your tailbone as if you were creating traction there, and then lower fully to the floor. And then take the arms up and lower them down to the floor. Just breathe. And then bring your knees to your chest. Squeeze them in. Stretch your left leg long, hold. Stretch and switch the other side. And breathe. Good, bring both knees to chest. Allow the knees to roll over to your left side. Your left hand can rest on your knees if you want. Your right arm is going to go somewhere overhead, wherever it feels comfortable. So it's not down at your side, it's not out to your side, unless that's the only comfortable spot. But ideally, it's kind of a cactus arm or it's overhead. Soften and breathe here. Your head, your neck are relaxed. Relax your jaw, relax your belly. Breathe. And then take that same right arm up to the ceiling. If your left hand is holding knees, release that and take it out along the floor, straight out from your left shoulder. And then reach across and tap your left hand with your right. My right hand goes well past my left. You may not see that on the camera, but then take it up and reach it straight back and across so you're open. And then inhale up, reach forward and open wide. Good, and again, reach across and open. Last one, reach across and open and pause. Relax both arms, take your knees back to center. And then draw the knees to chest, let the knees go to the right side. Maybe your right hand rests on your knees, maybe not. Maybe you have a pillow under your knees to lessen or a block under your knees to lessen the twist. What feels good for you? And then take the left arm anywhere overhead, anywhere above the shoulder. And just feel that. Fingers are soft. Nice, easy twist. And then take your right arm out straight from the right shoulder. Take the left arm up to the ceiling and bring it across your body so it taps your right hand. And then open it back up again. Good, and bring it across. And open. Two more. Bring it across. And open it up. Oh, that feels so good. And bring it across. And open it. Hold here. Just stretch that wingspan. Relax your fingers, your jaw. Take your knees back to center. Pause here, bring your knees to your chest. And then feet to the floor. Pause here for a moment. In fact, go ahead and roll to one side and come on up. So you're coming up to a seat of your choice. We're just gonna do a little bit of self-massage on these hands. So, and it is mostly, for most of us, it is this area, this big thumb muscle that gives us so much grief. So I want you to start by just using your thumb to press into that whole muscle. You'll probably feel, 2 or 3 tender spots that might be chatting with you. And you can come down toward the wrist, that whole base of that muscle, along the outside, right, into the inside. And just feel that. And then I want you to take the space, the webbing between the hand, between the thumb and the index finger. And I want you to find a pinch point that maybe feels pretty tender. It's an acupuncture point. Whew. And just squeeze that point. Yeah. So this is, I have a friend who's an acupuncturist, and she would put a needle there all the time. And she said that this is one of the great points for headaches. For toxicity. So you just find that point and you can rub it, you can squeeze it,
If you don't have a tender spot there, maybe move the fingers a little. So have the thumb on the outside and then the index finger on the inside and just squeeze it. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. And then release it and shake it out. And then go to the other side. Again, massage. And just for information, if you are finished with class and you notice that your wrists or hands are really feeling kind of tender or yucky, I would highly recommend cold and hot water baths. So just get a couple of pans or a couple buckets, one with really cold water and one with withstandable hot water, and move hands in and out of those for some hydrotherapy. Woo, I got a tender spot there. Right hand is particularly tender, so it tells me I put a lot of weight into the right hand. All right, and then grab the webbing. Sorry, I forgot. I had to keep moving. Oh, yeah, right, so feel that tender spot. And just relax everything else, just squeeze. Interesting about this point too, and I don't know if it has anything, but every once in a while, my husband will have little hay fever attacks from pollen or from too much dairy. And I'll grab these points and hold those on him, and it does seem to help clear his hay fever a little bit. So that is totally anecdotal though. And then shake that out. And then interlace the hands and press them out and just lift them up. Go gentle. Exhale, curl them into your belly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, curl in. Good. Last one, lift up. And exhale. And then your choice. We're going to either do just a little seated Shavasana, or if you really just want to lay down and relax in a more traditional Shavasana, please feel free. If you happen to be near a wall, you can just come right up against the wall, right? Or if there's a chair nearby, that can be really helpful. But whichever you choose, just go ahead and pause there. And have your hands in a way, if you're seated, just have them maybe cupped in front of your lap. Or if you're laying down, let them be soft. Maybe they're even resting on your belly. The hands, much like the feet, do so much work. So maybe we take this ordinary moment to appreciate and feel gratitude for this ordinary part of our bodies that we do so much with and pay so little attention to. So soften your fingers wherever they are. Soften your hands wherever they are. Soften the arms, the shoulders. Soften the jaw and the belly. Maybe just send a little love to those places in your body that may be causing you some discomfort. Feel the breath. Feel your heart expand with each breath. Feel the light within brighten with each breath. Send love into the places in your body that may have discomfort. Feel the light within brighten with each breath. As you're ready, knowing that you can stay in your Shavasana for as long as you would like, begin to bring your awareness back if you are ready. Wiggling your toes and your fingers. Very slowly drawing the knees toward your chest. And coming up to your seated pose if you are not already.